Hey guys, Tech Hunters here again doing another toy review. Now this is for a fairly recent figure I picked up. Now I'm not sure how recent the figure was because it's part of the Marvel Universe, or Marvel Infinites I think it was renamed into. The Marvel Infinites Doc Ock. Now this is for a review for a few of the Doc Ock figures that I picked up, and these are all 3 3/4 inch, 4 inch figures that I picked up over the years. Some of them are older than others. This is the one I picked up recently, which he's fairly back heavy because of his tendrils. He has a bit of hard time standing, but I'll get into that in a minute. So I think the first one I got was this guy, and he was part of the Spider-Man line, as was the one behind him. As far as I know, there's 2 versions of this guy. I think there's a second version that has either clear blue, I think they are, or they're silvered. I'm not sure, but there is a different version of this Doc Ock. I think the main figure is basically the same deco, just the tentacle parts are all different. So starting with the older one, here he is. He has translucent tendrils, and there's a small clip on the side here that you just pull out, and that's how he clips into his kind of tendrils. He has a full complement of 8, so he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he has these 2 that kind of help stabilize him on the ground. It doesn't really stand on its own that much, but the figure itself is fairly limited in articulation, so I'll go over the articulation of all the Doc Ocks. Now, I'm not sure about his design, because he's not the kind of classic design that I remember is more this design, which is the one that they used for the 90s Spider-Man TV series, but I know Doc Ock's had a few incarnations over the years, so I'm not too sure where this design came from. But he's quite like him. He's not as kind of stocky as the general Doc Ock used to be. He still has these kind of trademark goggles type thing. He has a bit of a goatee, and I kind of like the design of the suit. He has kind of silver paint apps on his gloves, kind of like as if they're kind of some sort of tech thing, kind of like electroshockers type thing, and then he has kind of nice silvering. Articulation wise, he's not the best, so his arms can rotate there on a ball joint, so they can go out and in. He has a swivel cut up at the top of the bicep, and that's it for the rest of his articulation in the arms. He has no elbow joint or no wrist swivels or anything. He has no waist swivel at all. His head is on a ball joint. His legs are on a T-crotch, so he can go forward, backwards, and he has a single hinged knee and a single hinged ankle as well. And you can go forward and backwards, and you can rotate both the knee. You can swivel both the knee and the ankles, should you wish. But without his gear, he looks just as good without the kind of arm attachments on him as well. He's pretty cool. So that comes to the second figure that I picked up, which was another Spider-Man line figure. Now, he has this backpack that's removable, which attaches his claws. The claws are sort of bendy. They have the bendy wire from about midway, but they don't have much give to them. And the gimmick with this is you press down on this button at the top, and it just moves the claws forward and backwards. Not much, but it just moves them. And I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. When it moves down, there's like a symbol. There's 2 symbols on the inside of this kind of round section, and I'm not sure. I think there was supposed to be some sort of game or something like that, because I have a few other figures from this line, and they all had a similar gimmick on their kind of accessories, where you press a button or you did something and the little symbol on the device would change. Kind of like kind of reminds me a bit of the was it Beast Battle Beasts, where you had the rub symbols. Is kind of that kind of idea. You can see like 2 symbols changing. But the figure itself, he's a bit of a strange looking Doc Ock. He doesn't exactly have goggles like the other ones. He has more of these kind of bug eye type thing going on, so I'm not too sure where this design came from. It could be like an Ultimates version or something like that, but He has a quite of interesting. He still has kind of standard green suit, but he doesn't have any of the yellow that the other one has. Or sorry, not yellow, but orange. Yellow or orange deco that he's kind of known for. But he has all silver kind of paint apps, and then he has this white kind of area and the white striping. Now the only thing is the white striping is only on the front of the suit, but it has the same lines on the back, so it's a bit of a shame. He has a little bit more articulation. Well, he doesn't. He has less or more articulation than the other one. So his head is on a ball joint as well. His arm is on kind of a ball joint, so you can go out to the side, can rotate forwards, backwards. He actually has elbow swivels on this one, but he has no wrist articulation for the elbow. Again, T-crotch, and then just a single hinge knee with a kind of, you can swivel it as well. But that's it for the leg articulation. Unlike the other one, he doesn't have any ankle articulation, and he has this, like, he doesn't exactly have more articulation, but he's more posable than the first version of Doc that I showed off. And then this is the newest one that I picked up. His arms come detached or unattached in the packaging. You see, they just plug in and they only go into specific spots, so you can't mix and match the arms around the place. I did notice on my one that his arm is a good bit floppy, so I'm going to have to kind of solve that. Articulation wise, he's probably the best out of them. I wouldn't even call him an ultimate Doc as well, like the ultimate version of Doc, because he is lacking some articulation, like waist swivel. He would have been nice if they could have put in either waist swivel or an ab crunch or something. But he does have a ball jointed head, which is quite nice. Again, he has the visors and he has that weird kind of bob haircut. And then you have the arms on a ball joint, so you can go out the side and rotate all the way around. As I said, on mine it's a bit floppy, so then you got elbow, single jointed elbow. He has wrist swivel this time around, and he actually has a hinge on the wrist, so they can go in and out, so you can actually get him in sort of grasping poses. His hands, unlike the other Docs, his hands are a bit more wider for holding stuff. And the way his tender rolls are done, they're a single solid plastic, except they have a single cut on them, so they can swivel on one axis, but you don't get anything else other than that. I mean, that's probably why I was thinking he's not the best of the Docs. I mean, even though the other ones don't have any posability in the tendrils, it would have been nice if they could have actually incorporated the bendy wire stuff into him and have it plug into his back, and that way you'd have a way better posability. And then his legs are on ball joints, so he can go out the side, forward and back. And then he has double hinged knees, which is more than what the other ones have. And he does have ankle articulation, but it's really because of the sculpt of his pants, it's a bit limited, but it can go left and right on the ankles, so you can swivel the ankles about. Again, as I said, no waist articulation, but out of all the Docs, he's probably one of the best, even though he does have the trouble standing because he's a bit back heavy with the tendrils. Just getting back to this one, you should note that he doesn't have any, he has a closed fist hand for his left, and then he has this weird kind of outstretched open hand for his right, so he can't actually grip anything properly. He doesn't have any grip hands. This guy can sort of grip stuff, but because of the limitations on his articulation, you can't really get, really good poses out of him. His hands are actually quite small as well, so you can generally get him to grip stuff like swords or knives or something like that, but anything like standard kind of 3 3/4 inch weapons like G.I. Joe weapons, he has trouble gripping. So there you go, guys. Out of all the figures, out of all the 3 Docs I have, I do kind of recommend that newer one, the Marvel Infinites version. He is quite good. Even though he has a good few flaws just like the others, he's probably the best out of them. Even though I really like the design for the first guy, this version. I do like his design. It's just a shame that they didn't go out of the way to give him some arm articulation. but it would have been nice to have proper elbows, at least proper elbows on him would have been decent on him. But there you go, guys. There's a quick review of all the Doc 3 3/4 inch Doc figures that I have. I'm not sure if there's other ones out there. I think there used to be a Superhero Showdown version of Doc as well, which I never picked up, and that was way back when Toy Biz was doing the 3 3/4 inch figures. So he's one that I don't have. He's more designed like this version as opposed to the other two, but those are the 3 Doc figures I have at the moment. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review. As I say in my reviews, if you like the video, click like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, feel free to subscribe, and as always, feel free to comment in the comment section below, and I'll try and get back to you. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Cheers.